Hey guys, we're the nerds of 9000 Plus. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to be talking about Daredevil Season 2.
In comparison to Season 1, I felt like it was a nice continuation. We are still seeing his early days as Daredevil. We also see just how he could still not cross the line too as a hero. He could never cross the line of killing someone, and that's why he butts heads with characters such as Punisher and Elektra.
For me, like, I really appreciated the Daredevil character and his transition through the whole season. Like, in the first season, he kind of was like, I have to do this, and it really didn't have development as to his Matt Murdock as a person. I really liked that in this season, we go through a lot of developments of who he is as a person. He finally gets to a point in the show, like the really nice moment with him and Elektra, how he's saying that I need this, I need to be this person, and how he's telling Foggy, like, this is something that I need as a person.
I won't quit. I'm done apologizing.
Yeah,
for
I'm
who
done
I am.
apologizing
Yeah.
for who I am. And then Elektra, how she's the only person that he can really feel like being himself.
I think this season did a really good job of building his character. And by introducing a character like the Punisher
Yes.
to the Daredevil universe, you explore Daredevil's limits and what he's willing to do and not do in the name of justice. I think you really couldn't have done it without him. Even though Elektra is sort of the same way. She will kill. She is, in many ways, a bad guy, like the Punisher is, or an anti-hero in her own kind of way. I just don't think you get that because there was the romantic involvement. They were trained by the same person. They have the kind of the same mission in many ways, even though he doesn't necessarily want to take up the mantle of that mission. John Brenthal's Punisher is a way to really explore not just the Punisher's character, but Daredevil's character. Yeah. And they have some great scenes together, and the Punisher may be the best performance in the entire season. I mean, the work he does is really, really impressive. When the Punisher is sitting in that graveyard with Daredevil, and he's talking about his daughter, and when she died, my wife was a mess. I mean, she was just a mess. And it's so funny that they spend so much time showing that this version of the Punisher, he is brutal.
Yeah,
this guy is no good guy. I mean, he may be going after bad guys, but he is certainly just as culpable as many of them. He did not mind about
civilian casualties.
No, he was a nasty, nasty dude. But you still completely relate to a lot of what he's doing, and you feel for him. Yeah. I don't know how they pulled that off exactly. But by the end, I'm like, man, I like this guy. But, I mean, he is not a good guy. No. I mean, he does really horrible, horrible things. So that's a very impressive feat.
But at the end, when he basically was protecting Daredevil, when he goes after Naboo, that was a great moment. He just made sure that he didn't get attacked. And then he just kind of does this nod like, all right, I know you got to do what you got to do. And that was, like you said, testing his limits. This was a spot where Daredevil basically hit his limit. Like he didn't want to kill anybody else, but this is one guy, you got to go.
Elektra just kind of, I don't know. I haven't loved her character overall. But this version, when I first saw her, I did not like her. She was very difficult to like, but as the show builds, and I remember I texted Ken, I don't know how I feel about it. He was like, trust me, you'll get there. Because he'd already finished the season, and I was about halfway through it. And once her character was built a little more, you have a lot more respect for her, and you understand a lot more of where she's coming from and why she does the things she does.
When Matt Murdock took his mask off and was like, all right, so if we can get out of this, which I hate that I predicted that somebody was going to die when we saw that, because that's typically what they do. Yeah, when we get out of here, we'll go and I'll take care of my family and I'll be with my family. That usually means one of you guys is going to die. But, I liked that whole moment, like how she was kind of a little girl, like, I don't think that's gonna be it. We can't do that. We can't run away together. And I love how he was convincing her, and they said, okay, let's do this. And they had that nice moment of talking about what I said, like, you're the only person that really gets me and understands me. And it was just that their chemistry in that scene was beautiful.
Yeah, and of course, you already know spoilers, but Elektra does die. But of course, she ain't staying dead.
Yeah, of course not.
It was clear. It was very clear.
They had already showed
her body
that.
And put her in the chamber where Nobu survived. However, they kept Nobu alive and continue to keep him alive.
Well, the death and resurrection of Elektra is a very big storyline. It's right up there with the death of Superman. It's one of those pivotal things that really define the character. But unlike Superman with Elektra, it happened relatively early in her life. It was during Frank Miller's run on Daredevil, and it was very pivotal. And it was huge that Bullseye was the one who killed her. Well, that was in the comics. They didn't do that with the show. Instead, they had Naboo do it, but it was still a side. The biggest surprise for me was them bringing in Wilson Fisk back so soon. I wasn't expecting him to come back at all for season 2. They explored the whole prison life of Wilson Fisk and how he finally adopted the name of Kingpin, because that's what didn't happen in season 1.
Nope.
He was just Wilson Fisk. And how he got the name Kingpin in prison. They're showing how he quickly rose to power in there, because that was a big part of the Daredevil story too. What he had to do to still control his empire, even from inside. Bottom line, Fisk was like, just wait until I get out of here. I'm going to destroy you and Foggy and everyone that you love, and I can't wait for season 3.
Punisher, Daredevil, and Fisk are all basically 3 sides of the same dice, you know? They're all trying to do the same thing. They're just doing it in completely different ways. And of course, one of them is right and the other 2 are kind of wrong. But they're such likable characters because you can see their motivations for doing things. Like you were saying, for the Punisher, he's doing these awful things, but you're kind of like, I get it. And for Fisk, like, you can kind of see, like, he's doing all these awful things, but you're kind of, all right, I get it. I'm with you. I shouldn't be. I feel like there's something wrong with me for being on your side, but I am. And then you get moments like with Daredevil, and he like beats the crap out of him, and you can't do anything because my lawyer's just going to tell you, lie for me too. Then you're like, oh, okay, I'm not on your side. Sorry.
And I think that was really important for his character too. He needed to go from kind of misunderstood semi-villain to like a full-fledged, to be the Kingpin. He needed to become the Kingpin.
Exactly. And I felt like he did that when he left Frank Castle in the area to get killed. Oh, that was a great scene.
I agree. That was brilliant.
One of the biggest things I was happy about is when they introduced at the very end his final Billy Club.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Because he was just having the 2 sticks beforehand, and it was like, okay, it was a good story. But I was, with the projectile and the grappling hook, cool. I was like, yes, this is the classic Daredevil Billy Club, which is such an awesome weapon in my opinion.
It's really
so
cool.
Awesome.
I would give this an 8,000.
I think I could go to 8,000. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I could do 8,000 as well.
Thanks for watching another N9000 Plus TV show review. And if you want to stay on top of all of our TV show reviews, you will click the subscribe button right here.
You're not dreaming. We're streaming.
Whispered repetition.
Catchphrase.